I've been waiting to make this post. I've been waiting for a few days to make this post because my voice is still shot and I'm still coughing. But I need to tell you that a few nights ago, it finally happened. I had a lucid dream. Now in this dream, I was in my parents' ranch-style house in Ohio. I stepped out onto the front porch. To my right was a dream sister, and by that I mean someone who I knew was my sister, but didn't look like my sisters in reality. And to my left was my father. He was standing on the porch, gazing off into the distance. Well, I immediately turned to my dream sister and said, "Do you know who that is? That's Dad. Do you know what that means? That means this is a dream. I'm dreaming. I'm having a lucid dream." Now, I'd like to tell you that my next inclination was to turn to my father and talk to him, because the reason I knew I was dreaming is that my father passed away more than 4 years ago, or 4 years ago, just 2 weeks before Anna was born. But that isn't what happened, and I don't know why. I haven't been able to figure that out. But instead, I began to walk across the yard toward the road where a car was coming up over the horizon. I don't remember the color or make of the car, but it slowed down and then stopped, and seated behind the steering wheel was this very tall, regal black woman who looked at me and smiled because the window was down, and she didn't say anything. So I said, "Who are you?" She just said, "Don't you know, sweetie? I'm you." Smiled that enigmatic smile again and slowly drove away. I'm thinking, wow, this is interesting. This lucid dream is interesting. I think I'll stay here rather than try to fly. And I did look up in the sky, and there were the crisscross power lines that I'm so familiar with from many of my dreams, the power lines that said, "Don't try to fly up here because you'll have to get through this maze of wires and we'll electrocute you." So I saw another car starting to drive over the rise, and I thought I would wait and see if it slowed down and if that driver had anything to say to me. But at that moment, my eyes were distracted because I saw two Annas playing in the yard across the street, two twins of my daughter. So I thought, oh, this isn't safe. And I scurried across the street and scooped them up into my arms and took them to the safety of my parents' house. And as I came back out onto the porch, my father was no longer there, my sister was no longer there. There were no cars on the horizon, and I started to feel the dream begin to fade away from me. So I quickly sat down with my back against the tree that is in my parents' front yard. The tree that, growing up, my sisters and I always called the crotch tree, because it branched out dramatically into two very fat, almost like two separate trunks, and had a little V very close to the ground, within 2 or 3 feet. Which, you know, it's really interesting because now that I'm retelling this dream and thinking about this dream, and I did rush downstairs and take notes right after I had it, there is a lot of double twin mirror imaging in the dream. The twin Annas, the divided tree, the two cars coming over the horizon, and also as I was sitting at the base of the crotch tree, another one grew up in front of me. So I was sort of wedged between two identical trees. And my thought then was, I want to be somewhere else. I want to be on a beach. And I felt my landscape begin to transform, but into like a windy, cold, desolate beach. So I quickly said, no, I want it to be sunny and warm, a warm beach. And I want to be wearing a bikini, and I want to have a fabulous body. I'm a woman. I have no excuse. This is what I thought I would do with my dream. And I looked down and I saw that I was indeed in a bikini, and the air around me was warm, and the beach was becoming, if I can say that. My Anna's coming down the steps. I'll have to finish this later. She's waking from a nap. Maybe we can get her to say hello. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Come here, cutie. Did you have a good quiet time? Come here, honey. I want to give you a big hug.
It is late.
Is it late? I'm talking to camera. See, camera?
Oh, where is his eye?
Oh, camera doesn't have any eyes right now. We'll make those later.